about an adventure Matt had.
That's kind of funny. I think most gamers know the little arrow there is saying, hey, you can play it before it's finished installing there. I guess maybe if you have incredibly slow internet where the last bit might take a day, or, I mean, it probably wouldn't even take that long, to be honest with you, but what is the point of that? Because that's got to be about 85 or 90%. It's just kind of strange, because at that point, but I guess I do have good internet. I got to not think that way, because I know there are people that have internet that it might take 10, 12 hours to install a game, because they're ours are being slower than normal, but they're finally putting fiber in up here, so hopefully before too long I don't have to worry about that. But then I have to worry about them taking the giant dish off my house. I guess I meant to finish that thought without destroying things. But yeah, because if it's got 20 minutes left, once it hits that point, it's going to have no more than 5. Okay, so I bought model paint and painted this top, as you can kind of see between the Harley Davidson letters there. Because I dropped the key out of my pocket once, and with the black, it fell in some rocks in the yard at the house I was living in at the time, and blended in so good, I had to go to my backup key for a while. But then, as that chipped off, because it chipped off incredibly quickly, I swapped to a keychain. I don't know if I ever showed it on the vlog, but it was a little rubber Darth Vader helmet, because obviously you don't want a metal keychain beating around near your ignition in the wind, so I went with a rubber one. And he must have finally flopped around enough that he wore off last night. I guess it's kind of sad, but I'll get to do something new. I think the only rubber one I have now is the Crimson Omen from Gears of War, so that'll probably be what it'll be, but I will let you know if it's something different. This one will probably only last in a ride, unless I do it before I ride, and take the whole chain out and put it to where it's just right to that. I'm debating what to do, though. I might take it for one ride just to see. Jeez. That's from when Gears was brand new. But I might take it for one ride and kind of keep a little bit of an eye on it, and if it seems like it's going to be really bad, I'll shorten the chain, which would hopefully help. But, yeah, I have one other keychain. I could probably dig more. But I have one other one that's plastic, like a hard plastic, and almost all the rest are metal. But yeah, we'll see what happens. The TRX looks so menacing, just kind of peeking out from behind that edge. That's usually my parking spot whenever I get to the farmer's market, because I don't have to try to wad myself in a spot, and usually not many people park down there, so I don't have to worry about being next to somebody. As early as I got here today, I probably could have parked anywhere though. I have a question. Was the blue flavor of ramen called Oriental? I swear that was a thing, but I just bought something that's called soy, which is actually a really good thing, because that actually tells you what the flavor is. I mean, soy is very common in Asian dishes, so Oriental kind of maybe did, but they have all sorts of other flavors too. But I wonder if that's another thing that got canceled, because probably about a year ago, because it was after we moved into our house, so we had a pantry. At Three Bears, I got this big case of ramen with 96 packs, and we don't have it that often, so it's barely touched, but it's only beef and chicken, so there's no variety. So they were on a super cheap sale, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll grab a couple different flavors so we can mix it up. And as I was grabbing them, I was like, soy? That's new. Then I thought about it for a second. I was like, the blue package used to be Oriental, I'm pretty sure. But maybe I'm just losing my mind. But walking through grocery stores, not even the same place, because Aunt Jemima's gone, Uncle Ben's is gone. The Land O'Lakes butter is now just a plain package. That was the most baffling thing to me ever, because it's regardless of if you're taking somebody off of it, there's a lake in the bottom and it's Land O'Lakes. Put something like a fish jumping up out of the water where the woman used to be. I mean, come on. But that's another thing I always found funny about all that, because I think I heard something about the Grand Cherokee, the Jeep getting in trouble for that name. You know, I mean, there's obviously, because every single type of vehicle on the planet, there's a group of people that are like, oh my God, they're trash. They're all trash. They all have horrible maintenance, blah, blah, for every single thing there is. But the Grand Cherokee is it's pretty much Jeep's, I guess the Wagoneer now, but is Jeep's highest end vehicle. They have the Trackhawk version of it, so they have a version of it that will beat a lot of modern muscle cars, the luxury level ones, because my aunt, who trades in vehicles every year and a half or two, she trades in constantly and pretty much always was getting something different. Once she got a Grand Cherokee, actually she got a Liberty, because she thought they were hideous. It was when they were brand new, and she drove by a Jeep dealer on every day on the way to work, and they grew on her. She wasn't a huge fan of the Liberty, but then she liked the Jeep enough, she got a Grand Cherokee, and she had Grand Cherokees for 8 or 9 years, and for her, she'd never had anything the same forever. Now she's on Chevy Blazers. Weirdly. No, they're not bad. They're just, I don't know. They're not what a Blazer is. They don't even look slightly like what a Blazer is, which I guess most modern stuff doesn't. But Suburbans and Tahoes are kind of similar to what they used to be. But yeah, she actually stuck with a Grand Cherokee. So because I mean, I guess I could see it with like the Redskins, because they're a football team with kind of a scumbag idiot owner that hasn't really been relevant for years. But the funny thing is I've seen so many things about Native Americans loving that name. And, you know, around here, there's a lot of them, and I've heard a lot of them here say that, because it was actually meant to be a distinguished logo designed after an actual Indian chief. It wasn't like, I get the example of the old Braves logo they don't use anymore, of the single feathered Indian going like he's completely stupid and stuff. Wasn't it Tonto, the Lone Ranger sidekick? I can see stuff like that but when your name's on something like Land O'Lakes is one of the best butter brands, or Aunt Jemima's is some of the best breakfast stuff around, Uncle Ben's is one of the best rices around. Why would it be offensive to have your name on a great product? Yeah, if it was some bargain basement stuff that a dollar store would be ashamed to carry, I could see it, but I don't get that, because people use that, because I mean, it's not like the Grand Cherokee, they were like, yeah, let's pick this name to degrade Indians. They, you know, and I mean, I kind of get the, like, we're not a brand, or whatever they'll say. But at the same time, I would love to be associated, because if they, I mean, obviously, nothing's going to be generic white guy brand breakfast cereal or anything like that, but I would love it if something that was, because, I mean, most of my heritage is Finnish. If they just change Land O'Lakes butter to a Finnish dude on the front, I mean, I'd be like, hey, yeah, one of the best butter brands has my people on it. I'd be stoked. I don't know. But that's the thing, too, though, is in this, with the world of constant division, that's the same thing, though, is because some people, no matter how good the product, it could be considered the greatest product on the planet, they would say, oh, well, we're still not a mascot. We don't want our name on things. But then at the exact same time, you'd have other people being like, well, it's a high quality product. I'm honored to have my name on that. It's weird and obnoxious. But yeah, I think Oriental might not even just be the cancel culture stuff. It might just be, that's very vague. Which also, that is a little bit racist. Just to be like, hey, Oriental is a flavor. Like, yeah, because, I mean, tons of Asian cultures. Unless that actually technically, or the term Oriental, I think that's just Asian, right? I don't know. Unless that's meant to signify a specific country. But if it's not, it's basically lumping all the Asians together and saying you have one flavor, which is ridiculous, because Asian food is some of the best and some of the most diverse there is. Because, I mean, like, I love Italian food, but there's not a whole lot of diversity there. It's a lot of pastas, pizza. I mean, there's more stuff than that, but that's the first thing that pops in people's heads. And even, like, Mexican food, you think, like, tacos, burritos, chimichangas, like, things like that. Almost, like, of the vast majority of it involves some sort of shell, tortilla shell. So yeah, it's like Asian. I mean, if you talk about Asian food, I can't even narrow it. I mean, I can start to name some, but then there's never going to be something where it's locked into one little tiny category like a lot of other types of foods are. Like American food is grease or stealing things from other cultures and calling it ours. See, this is where it's funny because it's fun because, like I said, there's things where it's pushing it to find the positivity, like the thing with Xbox, you know, because I mean, so far they still haven't really given us much to prove it's worth that increased price. Yeah, I mean, with what they have coming, it makes sense. But then you have moments like I just had, which I was coming into Bob Ward's to come buy an AK-47, which they sold them. That should teach me a thing about being indecisive, because on the way down, I'm like, this is going to be awesome, because I've got a 1911, and I'd have an AK-47. I'd have two of the most iconic long-running guns of all time. But I'm in the turning lane with my blinker on. There's no way I can signify I'm turning more. And as I slow down to turn into the lot, this guy with an Oregon plate, of course, pulls out, almost hits the side of my Jeep, then like spins, which, I mean, is pretty impressive, to be honest with you, because if traction control was on and stuff, and he was in one of those early thousands Malibus, so it's like they not only don't have a ton of oomph per se, but they also, if traction control's on, they shouldn't spin anyway. But he spins the tires, then flips me off, and it's like, what on earth is even happening right now? Because that's where it's like, anybody that tries to, you know, it's always an out-of-stater. Every time it's something like that. But, I mean, I guess there is a massive silver lining there. It proves my point about out-of-staters. Because, yeah, I've never seen anything even slightly similar to that from a Montanan. And then, on top of that, you know who's an asshole. Because it's nice to know that. Because, you know, if I ever see that silver Malibu with a Oregon plate, I'll just be like, yeah, that guy's a complete piece of garbage. Because it's one of those things where I get it, because with that place closing, it's busy, so sometimes it's hard to see a little bit. So maybe he thought he was going to get to go, like, looked back toward me, but I was in the turning lane because I saw him coming out of there, so I made sure to get in the turning lane and turn my blinker on super early, so he knew, because I knew how hard it can be to get out of that lot. So I was being extra considerate, and I don't know if he thought I was supposed to stop and stop in the turning lane and let him come out or what, but the people on the actual roadway are always going to have the right-of-way over someone leaving a parking lot. I don't know. But it's another one of those things where it's like, another silver lining is it does make me feel smart. Because if I would, in that situation, if the exact same thing happened, I'd be like, oh crap, I almost hit that guy. I screwed up. Like I would immediately be like, shit, this is on me 100%. Not be flipping out at the person that had the right of way, was using their blinker, was in the turning lane, was doing literally everything correctly. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know where people are coming from. Because that's kind of like I've mentioned, like it goes back to the gaming thing again, is like the console war crap, where it's like people that are defending Xbox. It's like so far they haven't really released anything to make Game Pass Ultimate worth $20 a month. Honestly, the biggest reason Ultimate's worth it is because you get EA Play included. So I mean, you obviously don't get them right away, but you get the trial versions of stuff like Madden and stuff like that, and then you're getting that game for free eventually. That's honestly the biggest selling point for me, personally. Especially once college football hits it, because it's reviewing well, and it's been a long time since we've had college football. But yeah, it's just, like, but yeah, you'll still have people out there going like, oh my God, they're still the best. Like let's see what, once they start releasing Indiana Jones, Avowed, Fable, eventually another Forza, that Gears game, we will see. Okay, so the one of the nursing homes here has a big sign that says memory unit tour today, which I'm assuming means the unit for people that are having various things that are a memory issue. That just sounds depressing. I've been in that particular one to help somebody move, because their mom was in there and they were in what was referred to as the near-death ward, and she kind of came out of it where she didn't need that level of care, so it was like helping her move the stuff that's actually hers and not just for the facility from there into a more normal room. And yeah, it's a depressing enough place, especially going through that near-death ward. Like, good grief, I even talking about it, I'm like half crying, because it's like, it sucked, because you know those are like people's grandparents and parents and stuff like that, and knowing, like, especially like those ones that are in the near-death ward, oh god. And then, but the memory unit, to be wandering through there, knowing that these people, there's a decent chance they don't recognize their own kids and grandkids and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why anyone would want to tour that. I mean, it's, if you had somebody you were putting in, I would wait and go like the day I needed to put them in. Somebody's getting a new toy. I'm not a huge fan of those wheels. They're a little bit big. Or those lights. Same concept. That's obviously aftermarket. But I'm kind of like, I wonder if ours was ever transported like that during its journey. If there was ever a spot where it was like, hey, we're going from a place where big truck can have it to another place where big truck can have it. Like this one might be doing right now. Who knows? But yeah, somebody's gonna have a good time. If those wheels were on something that needs bigger wheels, because I don't know, I want more tire on something I'm going to be doing off-roading with. Kind of like that Bronco there. What a coincidence, I just accidentally pointed the camera at it. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing too on that TRX that's on that transport, or it's not even really a transport, it's just a flatbed that the TRX is up on. Honestly, I wouldn't have hated that, because it's like those the transport trailers, those can be tight for little cars. So between how tight they can be, and then they're not, I mean, it's not like they're covered, and the way that one was on there, it's, yeah, all that stuff in front of it, if, you know, if a rock comes flying from anywhere, there's so much stuff for it to hit before it can get to the truck. Like, honestly, that's actually really, I would have been really happy with that. I mean, provided it didn't get rear-ended or something. And because ours got transported in summer. Because if it got transported in winter, all that road grime would be flying up to there. But yeah, I don't know. That's not. It's kind of funny, because at first I was thinking that's kind of half-assed, it seems like. But then when you really think about it, it's kind of nicer than those transport trailers. Because that's another thing, on top of them being tight, I have seen vehicles get pretty badly damaged because some trying to squeeze them off of there. And it was a Camry, which is small, and it was tight enough that the Camry kind of got mangled. So imagine our truck. Yeah. It was kind of funny once it was transporting, because of knowing some of the things that happens on those transport, from having people, because sometimes it wasn't super common, but Toyotas, we didn't deal. It's probably, now that I think about it, I don't think there still isn't a Toyota dealer in Helena. Maybe that was it. But well, I guess it was like that in Minot too. Maybe there wasn't one there either. But we got direct shipments from Toyota, like still with like the plastic on the hood, not PDI'd, so I had to learn to PDI. A lot of Nissans too. And we did have a Nissan dealer, so it must have been kind of random what stuff just got delivered directly to us. But yeah, I knew, knowing some of the stuff that goes on with those transports, I was so nervous the whole time that our truck said in transit. It was a scary time for me. Because, I mean, because that's another thing about it too, is if something happened, you would never know. Because obviously it would be delayed and they would fix it, but you know, you could have some massive damage where they full on tore a fender off or something crazy and had to repair it, and you would never know, because they're not going to say, hey, by the way, on the way transporting, this thing happened. They would 100% hide it from you. I also find this kind of funny. I went by it yesterday on my Harley and was going to say something about it. I wonder if they actually ever get bundle deals on this, because there's some sort of cross promotion thing going where some place has a bunch of campers at the Ford dealer, and a bunch of side-by-sides. I wonder how often during this sale they actually sell somebody a truck and a camper or a side-by-side or anything. It's kind of summer sales event. Oh, there's even a pontoon boat. There's all sorts of stuff. But I wonder if they actually ever at any point have anybody that's there shopping for a truck that ends up saying, oh yeah, I'll get a camper too. Or is there looking at one or the other and then looks at another one and is like thinks to themselves, oh yeah, I kind of need one of them too, or this is really nice. And they end up getting it either the same day or within a semi-short amount of time. Because I would kind of doubt it unless somebody's super rich, or if they saved up and planned to buy one of them with cash, so they don't, because you'd be getting two semi-decent sized loans depending on how big of a camper or side-by-side you bought, basically back to back. And yeah, I guess unless they have a promotion going to the point where they'll let you finance them together, because if you got a fairly entry-level F-150 and a mid-level camper, you'd probably be financing less than we did for the TRX, or anybody does for if they buy a vehicle that's $80,000-$90,000.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.